All right, everybody, here we are. I appreciate you being patient with me. Just getting started up with this here. Get a couple of little stacks of coins out of the way, and then I can get started. How is everyone doing? Let's see, we've got Malcolm, Mr. Boudreaux, Jesse, Spiked Head Die Crack. We've got Grandpa Tim. Let's see, Carl. There's Carrie Walton. Hello. Tim Crowell. Parviz. I think we are ready to get started. This is a 1955 plastic tubed roll. I've got to get the tape off of it. I have had other rolls from this same source, from this same date, produce double dies. So I'm hoping this will do the same for our watchers. I know the coins are going to be in relatively good shape. There's going to be some spiked head die cracks. There's going to be some of those, what do you call them, split skulls, skull fracture coins. So there should be some pretty good stuff in here. So let me go ahead and get started with coin number 1. It's going to be for Stanley. Stanley gets the first coin. Hang on a second. Here we go. There it is. Had to find my stuff. Oh, that's going to be way too close. Let me find a happy medium here. That ought to work. And let me take my target time to exposure down. Check. And here we go. There we are. Okay, this one is a very late die state coin. It does not have any hub doubling on it, but if you look at it like this, you'll see that little shadow on the outside edge of the last 5 of the date right there. That's what they call a poor man's double die. It's actually not a double die at all. What it is just die wear, and die wear erodes the outside edge of the... What we got going on down here? I hope that camera doesn't freeze. It's flickering on me a little bit. But anyway, how you missed this? Let's see, they were sold probably close to 2 weeks ago. I sold these before I went into the hospital, so it's been a little while. Get this stuff out of my way here. I've had a very, very hectic day. I just had to figure out how I was going to get a 55-pound box up the street from my postal box, and got that figured out. Had to get a friend to come over and help me get it up to the house. But anyway, this is late die state, and this is what they were. This is not good. Yeah, I lost my camera. Let's see. Lost my camera. Yep. Darn it. I lost my secondary, my desk camera, so we're going to have to do this in the blind. It is not working. Yeah, it's not working. Hang on. Okay. So the camera that you see the flips on is not working, so I'm going to have to voice announce everything to you. But this is coin number 1. We're going to check the reverses on the first few coins because there is a double die reverse known for 1955, and it is a nice class 6 double die reverse. It shouldn't be difficult to see, so we should be able to look at it relatively quickly. Hello, Natural Tendencies. Well, let's move on to coin number 2 now. Coin number 2 is going to go to Malcolm. Malcolm gets coin number 2, and this is coin number 2. Looking on these specifically for, the head explosion die crack type things that you find sometimes on 1955. We're also looking for a DDO number 2, DDO number 3, both of which I have found in similar rolls. And we're looking especially for DDR number 1. DDR number 1 is a nice Class 6 double die reverse. They don't show up often, but I have found a few of them in these rolls. So, coin number 3 now for Jesse Minter. Coin number 3 goes to Jesse Minter. I don't know what else I can, let's see what else I can do here. Let me see. I might be able to get this. I can do that. That's going to be the best I can do for you right now. But at least we have something. So this one's going to Jesse. It's another one of those later die state coins. Well, I appreciate it, Tim. Would he mind traveling to southern North Carolina? Because I don't think an over-the-phone consult is really going to help. I think it's going to be a thing where someone's actually going to have to build this stuff from proper material. I think I have, like the cheaper home version stuff, and I need to get real business version stuff. Hello, Mr. Thomas. All right, now we're on to coin number 4 for Mr. Reese. Coin number 4 for Mr. Reese is, well, it's another one of the poor man doubles, and it's got some massive breakage on the head. Very nice, but it is not a true hub double die. Still interesting nonetheless, right? We got this roll plus one other tonight. The other one that we've got tonight is going to be a 1943S roll. 1943S. Man, there are die chips and breaks all over this thing. Look at that. All up and down the left wheat. They're on the C of cent. There's a small one on the O of 1. There's a die crack between the O and the C. And then there's a huge amount of them on the T of cent. They're over here on the right-hand wheat, too. Look at the breaks in states. You have the T, E, S, the I, the C, the A, all have die chips. Man, this is amazing that this die was actually still functional. All right, that's for Doug. Mr. Reese, number 5. Number 5 now goes to Mark. Mark T. And there is Mark right there. So let's see if we got you anything, brother. I appreciate that, Tim. Let me see what I can do regarding... perhaps he might consult on getting the proper machinery to do this. You know, a proper mic, proper cameras. Maybe you might ask him about that. Maybe he could help with that and just tell me what the proper camera stuff to get would be. Oh, Eric. 1955, Philadelphia. We had a camera failure, so I had to go over to the dyno for my flips. Here's number 6. The camera is junk, basically. Both of my cameras. I've got one that's a Logitech. It's HD 1080p. And then the other one is a no-name HD 1080p. And both of them like to fail more than they like to work. All right, here, this one is for crispy. Got nothing on the obverse on this one. Take a look at the reverse real quick. See if we happened to get anything on the reverse. And I got nothing. Nothing on this one. That's number 6. Let's do number 7 now. Number 7 for Malcolm. Malcolm gets coin number 7. Number 7 is, well, looks like it's going to turn out to be normal on the obverse. It is. Now for the reverse. Nothing there either. Now how about number 8? Number 8, Deanne. Deanne for coin number 8. Here is coin number 8. Probably be able to unplug and replug this camera and it'll start working again. It's just it doesn't work. If I start a broadcast and the camera goes out, I cannot restart it. I have to restart the software and everything to get the software to recognize the camera after I unplug and replug the camera. It's really a pain. It's a very loathsome drag, but it is what it is. What I need to do is spend a couple of $1,000s and get someone to set me up with all the right stuff. All right, number 9, Mr. French. Mr. French gets coin number 9. Here is coin number 9. This one appears to be a minor double die. Eric, what do you think? Minor double die? I think we could be looking at a minor double die here. Let's turn this on around this way so we can see the relief of the letters just right. I don't know, maybe not, but we're certainly going to keep this out and take a better look at it. I'm thinking we could have a minor class 6 double die obverse here. So I'll hold it out. We'll take a better look at it. I think there's 4 or 5 of them listed. This would be, I believe, a new one. Man, that reverse is just shattered. That's coin number 9. I think we're going to hold that out. That one's for Mr. French. And we look at coin number 10 for Chuck Patillo. I've got the rolls all picked out for this coming week. Wow, that's a really nice poor man double there. Really nice one. And the rolls for this coming week I have selected are some very nice ones you don't want to miss. We're going to have a show Monday where those will be dispersed. I'll give you a heads up. We've got a 1944D roll. And we've got a 1942S nickel roll. Silver nickels. Taco John, coin number 11. No, Mr. Boudreau, we actually have a show. That's what I'm talking about. There is a show on Monday at 7 p.m. where I sell all of the reveals for that coming week. This week's show will include a 1944D Lincoln cent roll. It will include a 1942S silver nickel roll, which, by the way, only has 40 coins in it, so nickels are 40 coin rolls. Here's one for Eric. Eric up next. And Eric gets, well, it's a nice poor man's double, but I don't think it's going to be anything else. Man, that's extremely very late die state there. Then we've got a 1952D Lincoln cent roll. There will be a 1946D. These are all BU tubed original rolls. There's a 1942 Philadelphia, 1953D, and 1945S, all coming up for sale on Monday. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Very beautiful example of extreme die wear right there. Very nice. This one's one that they would put in a nice little plastic holder and sell for $10 because it's a very nice example. Look at the die erosion happening there. That is severe die erosion. The coin's uncirculated, but the die is not. The die was heavily worn by the time they got to it here. So to buy in on those spots, be here at 7 p.m. Monday, day after tomorrow. I have also been talked into having a short auction tomorrow, so there will be a short auction tomorrow. Going to be some die varieties in the auction, probably about 30 lots. You like collecting die varieties, double dies, repunchment marks, you'll get your chance. We'll have some of them in this show. That'll be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Monday is the reveal show. And then Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. God, look how many die cracks, die breaks, and chips there are, along with the black spots all over the coin. Little tiny black spots. Tuesday will be another regular auction. Oh, this one went to Crispy. I'm sorry. This one's for Crispy. I flipped it over, but I flipped it where you'd be able to see it under the regular camera. So, whoops. All right, that's for Crispy. Now, coin number 15. Coin number 15 goes to Carl. And here is Carl's coin right here. It looks normal. Normal. Let's take a look at the other side. See what we find there. Anything special? No. Unfortunately, nothing special there. That's Carl, coin number 15. Now coin number 16. 16 goes to Mr. Marshall. This is coin number 16. So mark your calendars. 7 p.m. each evening for the next 3 evenings. We do have shows coming up. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow's a short auction. Monday will be the reveal sales show. The reveal show. And then Tuesday will be another auction. That auction will have more box lots, mystery boxes, rolls, things like that. I think I've kind of worked out that Sunday's show is mostly going to be a singles event. Then the Tuesday show is when we start getting a little more crazy. And nothing there. See about this other side. Man, that thing's just... Some of these dies were just about ready to explode. Under so much pressure and they were so busted up. I don't see anyone saying anything. There's no chat happening. Am I that mesmerizing? Here's another one for Mark. Very late die state. Yes, the cost of the roll buys vary per date in accordance with whatever coins we are going to be opening. It's based on my expense into the roll. How hard they are for me to get, how hard they are for me to replace, and the amount I end up having to spend on them just to get them for our entertainment. Here's one for Taco John. Hello, Paul. Hope you're doing well today. And now coin number 20 goes to Sissy. Sissy's coin number 20. And it's an earlier die state than a lot of these others have been. At least the letters have edges. That's pretty bad when the nicest coin you have is a mid die state. Nothing else there. I'm doing fine. I'm doing pretty good. I've awakened early the last couple of mornings, and it feels pretty good getting up early for a change. There's Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder now. I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. Ended up getting almost 10 hours of sleep. Waking up at 9 o'clock. Man, this one's kind of rough. Got nothing on it. Here's number 22. Back to Mr. Reese. And coin number 22. It's another very late die state. Obverse, and the reverse is the same. All right, we're back to Mark again. With this 1955. Man, coins are not in as good a shape as I want them to be. This one has a Larry on the reverse. Number 24. Back to Mr. Reese. Nothing there. Nothing on the reverse either. An asparagus recipe. When I do asparagus, I use avocado oil in a pan. Pan fry the asparagus with garlic, onion, and salt. And cook it until it starts to get crispy. That's the way I like asparagus. A lot of people like to either steam it or boil it, and I think it tastes horrible both ways. My mother used to either boil or steam it, and then put, I guess it was mayonnaise on top of it. Not sure. I don't remember exactly, but oh, this one was for Sissy. I'm sorry. It was for Sissy. Here's one for Marshall. Mr. Marshall. You're gonna get some help finding Larry? Well, I'll start him off with the name of the dealer I got these from. We'll see if that happens to be a helper. Yeah, I'm not a fan of mayonnaise, first of all, but I'm definitely not a fan of smearing stuff on vegetables. If I'm going to eat vegetables, they're going to have some spice to them, but they're going to be pretty much just vegetables. I just happen to like them better that way. Here's one for Eric. And we have a die crack between the 9 and the 5 of the date. We've got a big old giant die crack on the head. Not seeing anything for die variety on this side, though. Let's check the reverse and see if there's any doubling on the reverse. And there is not. Cheese sauce. Yeah, I don't think so. Cheese sauce would tend to cover the taste of the vegetable. Why would you eat a vegetable if you can't taste it? Well, I'm not getting very far with this. I had hoped that there would be some better stuff in this roll. Here's Malcolm. From the looks of things, it appears that we may have caught one Minor Classics double die obverse so far. No doubling on the reverse of any of these, but it is known for the issue. And got nothing on this coin either. It's pretty decent markers for, well, nothing. But artichokes with mayo? Yeah, not for me. This one for Taco John now. And Taco John gets this coin. Ooh, nice earlier die state. I love that. Man, that's nice and sharp. For a 55, that's actually kind of scarce. You just don't see that very often. Unfortunately, there's not a double die to accommodate the beauty of the die state there. But that is a very nice coin. Let's see. Yeah, it's earlier die state on both sides. A little bit beat up on the reverse. That's coin number 30. Now coin number 31. 31, Tim Morrell. Mr. Morrell? What do we have here? Yeah, it's one of the later die state coins. You can see the difference in die state on these. Die state on earlier die state coins, you can see the design very, very well. All of the outlines are exactly where they should be, and they're nice and sharp. As you advance in die state, or as you advance in the number of strikes the die makes, well, it tends to get mushy because the molecules of steel are actually dislodging themselves from the surface of the die. Here's another one for Tim Morrell. That's coin number 32 now. But the molecules tend to dislodge themselves and travel outward with the force of the press, minting the coins. And we end up with trails running out from the center basically from the center outward in the design. That's what creates the cartwheel of luster that we see when we hold an uncirculated coin and look at it in the light and rock it back and forth, and that little bar of shine that's on the coin twirls around with how you move it. That's called luster, and that's created by the little tiny trenches that the steel molecules make as they're traveling outward from the center of the design. There's a very good example of that stuff right here. If you look at all this, you can see all these lines out here running toward the edge of the design. What's happened is a molecule or a little bullet of steel has broken away from the die here and traveled outward with the strikes. As it travels outward, it cuts this trench in the die that transfers over to the coins and creates luster. But at the same time, because those little bits of steel are traveling on the die, they had to come from somewhere. And where they're coming from is the edges of the sharper design features. That's exactly what it is, Mr. Boudreau. They are flow marks, or flow lines. What we call them is flow lines. And that's what happens as dies are used. Dies are generally only used for 1 or 2 days, so there's not really that much to the quote-unquote age of a die, but a die ages by the hour, more or less, not by the year, like we do. Really good die can become useless within an hour. Just depends on how many strikes are done. I've seen this particular die pair before. That's my second time seeing this one tonight. There is some color cuds. What that is little chips in the color. They chip out, and what you end up with is an uneven outer edge of your coin, where the coin actually presses itself into the recesses left behind by the broken pieces in the color. Oh yeah, dies go from brand new to useless inside of a couple of hours. It's definitely not a days or weeks thing. This one's for Mr. French. Time for head shaving? You getting your head shaved, or you shaving hers? I don't know why I said that. And it's probably pretty obvious that Paul's getting his head shaved. Well, Paul, you can't tell her to wait another 5 or 10 minutes and get done with this. Either that, or you can set the chair up in front of the TV and you can watch the other reveal we have coming up as soon as this one's over. It's going to be the 1943 San Francisco roll. Here's number 37. Number 37 goes to Carl. Carl with number 37. Looks like we're going to end up with a bunch of normal coins. I hate that because I had like 25 rolls of 1955 that came from the same source. I opened a couple of them just to see what was going on. I saved most of the rest of them. Now here is a double die. This is DDR number 1 right here. Nice double die reverse. Extra distension along all the letters and the dots of E pluribus unum. You can see that the dot is more of an egg shape than it is round. And this one here is actually doubled. But you can see this is a decent double die here. So this is on the reverse of a 1955 plain Lincoln cent. See how thick the bottom stem is there. Definitely a double die reverse. This one's got a nice clash mark right there on the N moving up to the E. That is actually, if you flip it over this way and look at it, you can see how that is the back of the coat and the back of the hair. It's actually right there. There it is. You can see it right here. Comes in here and goes up here. So that's the collar and the back of the hair, but that one's definitely a double die reverse. That's what we've been looking for. Here's coin number 38 now. This one goes to Jesse. That coin was for Carl. Now this one is for Jesse. Let's see what Jesse gets. A bunch of die cracks on the head. Cracked skull. 1955 Lincoln cents are among the most common in the entire series. Exactly why that's the case, I cannot necessarily tell you, but I just happen to know that is true. Alright, Jesse gets a normal coin. Let's move right down to the next coin in the roll to Stanley. Let's see what Stanley gets. Die clash, yes. When the two dice touch each other without a planchet between them and transfer their design markings from one die to the other, usually transposing between the two dies. Another very late die state coin. Well, that's why you're here, Parviz. You're here to learn what we see when we see this stuff. That way you can develop an eye by watching what goes under my scope. It's part of the whole point. It's for you to see what I see when I'm looking through my microscope. And I can tell you what I'm seeing. How many of the late 1950s get the chip in the 9 that fills in the 9? Apparently there's a market for them. You know, as far as I know, there really isn't a serious market for them. I don't know that it's all that uncommon. Of course, I don't know that it's common either. I don't really even pay attention, to tell you the truth. I've never paid attention to the die chips in the 9 of the date. They do occur. That's for sure. I've seen them. I just don't remember which years and how many. Because when I do see them, I just skip right by them. I keep going. Let somebody else worry about what supposed value those have. I don't see them as having any value because their cause of occurrence is relatively simple and can be very common. Yeah, seeing something sell on eBay doesn't really mean a whole lot. The reason for that is because eBay is rife with not only shysters selling items, but also with completely unknowledged sellers and unknowledged buyers. So you've got people on both sides of the transaction who don't know what they're doing, and they are willing to pay any amount to have something they think looks neat, regardless of any catalog value or any other known wholesale or retail value. So basically, if you're going to eBay to get your pricing information, there's two things. First thing, throw out all your price guides. You don't need them, because price guides don't mean anything to eBay. And the second thing is, you're going to see pricing all over the board on eBay, and the chances that you're going to reap the same high price that someone else did is going to be very scarce. Those are once-in-a-lifetime sales that are made, and Your opportunity may knock and it may not, but I would count far much more on it not knocking and you coming out nearly empty-handed with lesser value coins, because if it doesn't sell and you have to relist it, then you do, and it does sell, and someone buys it, and you pay a listing fee, a final value fee, and all the other fees, and PayPal fees, and all those other fees. By the time you get done paying fees, you pretty much lost all the profit you would have had on your item to begin with. That's where they really get you. Best way to handle eBay is to only sell more valuable stuff, because then the dollar amount eats away at the margin less as the transaction amount goes up. The dollar amount remains roughly the same. But yeah, buying on eBay can be a very, let's just say, sordid venture. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and sometimes you won't. So like they say, sometimes out in the woods, you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you. And there's a lot of times you never know which one's coming for you, so be prepared. There is no source that checks eBay and vets sellers. So anyone can sell or can offer anything at any price. You have to be smart enough to know not to hit that. Do not hit that button. Don't do the buy it now. Don't do the bid on the items that you don't know quite what they are, or that eBay is really your only source for finding out what kind of value the item has, because eBay can be a very horrible source for actual value. Adam? Mr. Chambers? I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I haven't seen him around for a little while. Got nothing on that side. Let's check the other side. After this, we'll have 3 coins left in this roll. I'm going to exit, prepare myself, attempt to fix my camera briefly, prepare myself for the next reveal, and then I'll be back on the reveal for number 426. 426 will be a 1943S tube roll. Number 48 is for Carl. Carl definitely has a DDR number 1 so far. I'll check and see if maybe he has doubling on this coin. Nope. This one turns out to be normal. Not a double die. Hello, Kelly Ray. Here's number 49. 49 going to Eric. Nothing on this one but a very worn out die. Actually, dies. There's 2 of them. Some people would argue that there are 3 dies. The color is considered technically a die, but I think that's just getting into double talk. You've got a collar and 2 dies. The obverse and the reverse. And that'll do it. So out of this, we had two double dies, both reverse, coin number 9 and coin number 37. Coin number 9 is questionable and goes to Mr. French, and coin number 37 is definitely DDR number 1 and goes to Carl. So that's what I have there. I appreciate it, folks. I am going to be back in probably, I'm going to say 10 minutes or so. I'm going to try to fix this camera real quick and come back on broadcast for reveal number 426, a 1943S plastic tube drill. I'll see you then.